I love this question. We're talking about shadow work here, friends. So, what if the part that someone hides, suppresses, is thievery, violence, racism, and the like? So, what I'm saying is that if there's parts of us that don't fit the mainstream narrative script, we will hide them in the shadows, but they will still have control over us. And when we're hiding them behind a wall of shame, then they become distorted. So things like racism and thievery and violence are not the natural state for humans. These are qualities that have been distorted because they have been in the shadows. So if we were to bring a loving awareness to each of these things, we would be able to bring those parts of the being into their exalted form. So thievery could, it would have to be case by case. But let's say that thievery comes from a sense of entitlement. So the demon of entitlement comes from lack of self-worth, right? So you would have to then work on that self-worth part in order to heal your need to just go and take, because there's a part of the person that feels like they're not worthy, and so they're afraid they're not going to get anything, so then they just have to take. Okay, so violence, oftentimes little boys who grow up to be angry or violent are just very, very sensitive little boys who grow up in an environment that is chaotic and their gifts are not held, and they're very sensitive, and their energetic field is being penetrated all the time, which makes them angry, right? So a lot of times, like in a classroom, if you see some of the troubled children are actually really sensitive, right? And racism actually comes from self-hatred. So if one goes inside and is able to find this part and at first just, see it and look at it and make space for it and get curious about it and go deeper and do a therapeutic process with this part, then one would find that one hates oneself. So perhaps in this case, if this is all one person and they have all these parts, they're probably, if they're thieving and violent and racist, they're probably going to end up in jail. So having these qualities in the shadow and untreated is going to be just as dangerous for them as it is for others. So it's to their benefit to do the shadow work and to get curious about what's actually pulling the strings. Because, like, if you're racist and you hide it and you keep it in the shadows, it's still going to play out in your life. Similarly, if you, like, maybe you're not actively stealing, but you have a sense of entitlement, so you're like skimming off the top all the time, right? But everything has its exalted form. So humans actually are very loving, beautiful creatures, but we do need to bring all the qualities into the exalted form. I'll give one more example. So nowadays, I'm sure that you have all received scam email or scam messages in some form. Now, the scam energy is on the same spectrum with the archetype of the Jedi Master. These people, so like the Jedi Master knows the rules so well. For example, like in the stock market, most people buy high and sell low, but to make money, you have to go completely against your instincts and buy low and sell high. So that's the kind of like Jedi mastery. So people who have this instinct of scam energy, well, it's a little bit of that kind of thievery and entitlement energy that's from the lack of self-worth, like a feeling of, I'm never going to get this, there's no other way, so I have to just take it. But also that kind of way of thinking is thinking, the rules don't apply to me, like I can bend the rules. But if you bring that same quality into its exalted form, the scam energy becomes the master. So scam energy is in its like distorted, lower form. It's cut off from its light. But if you reconnect it to its light and you reconnect it to its connection to everything. So we need to be connected to ourselves, to our own hearts. Our own hearts will put us back together. Our own hearts will bring all of our pieces back together, and our own hearts are able to hold all of those parts with love and compassion. The heart is really the key to everything. The heart is the key to living in heaven on earth. Your heart is your guide. Your heart is your therapist. Your heart is your roadmap to heaven on earth. It's your GPS. It's your inner chat GPT. It's your way to telepathically communicate with trees and animals. So if you have a therapist, that's great. That's one thing. But if you don't have a therapist, if you are able to take some of these more shameful parts of yourself and sit with them long enough in the space of your own heart, your heart will illuminate things and begin to put you back together and bring your qualities into their exalted forms. So thanks for tuning in, folks. If you're still here, leave a sparkle at the end. And there's a free shadow work worksheet at my website, lovelikeanocean.com. And also I offer human potential coaching on a conscious donation basis. And you can also sign up for that at lovelikeanocean.com. And I think there's only like 1 or 2 more spots this month. I'm pretty booked out. So thanks for tuning in, and follow for more.